eventually we will head into the spring allergy season, and many people will experience symptoms that are similar to COVID, but it could actually be a cold.
Yeah, that's right. Either way, you don't have to suffer through this as long as you get ahead of it a bit. Dr. Linda Dahl has been treating Broadway performers for nearly 2 decades, making sure they stay on top of their game vocally and nutritionally, and of course that's so important. Thanks for being with us to talk about it.
Thanks for having me.
Well, so you're an ear, nose, and throat doctor. Why do you think that it's so important to take action as soon as those symptoms pop up?
I'm a huge fan of prevention, and I think the more you can do when you first start getting sick, the less you have to take later. So as I always tell my patients, if you can get ahead of whatever illness it is that you have, like take it easy, stay home, rest, take preventative supplements, things like that, then that can help you in the long run so you don't need to go in and take more medication and be sick for a longer period of time.
Okay, so speaking of supplements, are there any vitamins that you recommend taking this time of year to kind of help boost your immune system?
Sure. I mean, the most famous one now is vitamin D, but vitamin D has been my favorite for decades in treating my patients. In fact, I've had some patients who I've cured from chronic sinus infections, just by giving them vitamin D. Oh, wow. So it's a really important vitamin. It boosts your immune system. It calms down your allergies. It treats depression. And also, if you have, it's not a vitamin, but if you have allergies, pre-treating with antihistamine before allergy season starts also helps you get ahead of those symptoms as well.
I think it's so good. It's so important to talk about this because we're all on high alert right now. You see a sniffle or a cough. Well, so along with environmental allergies, which we know a lot have, you also say inflammatory foods can cause sinus and vocal issues. So it's important to make sure you have a clean diet. What does a clean diet look like?
Yeah, it depends on what you read and who you talk to, but from my perspective, from the ENT perspective, there are a lot of foods that create inflammation, but you may not think about them that way. The biggest culprit, believe it or not, is dairy. So it happens with cheese and milk, sour cream, yogurt, all of these wonderful protein-rich foods. They have protein in them, 2 proteins actually, one is casein and one is whey, and they can create a lot of inflammation that makes more mucus, and it can help it can cause irritation in your nose and your throat. There are also, a lot of people are also allergic to yeast and mold, and that happens when you eat a lot of sugar. That creates a lot of inflammation. Alcohol is made of a lot of sugar. People don't realize that. And also caffeine can be very drying if you consume a lot of it, which also includes green tea, not just coffee.
Okay, so caffeine we know can affect your hydration. You say hydration is important, but it's not all about drinking water though.
Right. When we drink water, it fills our cells, and if we have excess water, then our body just gets rid of it. But the best way to hydrate your sinuses and your vocal cords is actually directly through steaming. There are different steamers that just spray the warmed mist into your nose and into your throat, and that can help hydrate directly. Otherwise, you have to drink not just water, but water with electrolytes or even a little pinch of sea salt.
Yeah, I had chronic sinus for a long time, so it can be really brutal. Let's talk about the steps we take year-round to make sure that we're healthy, just kind of proactive steps.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the things that you've heard doctors say forever. Get enough sleep, rest, exercise regularly, eat whole foods, limit your alcohol intake. And I think one thing the pandemic kind of forced on all of us was just to take a step back and rest and stay home. And I've heard so many comments from so many patients and friends that they have not been sick from other things for, as long as they've been following the COVID rules. And I think a big part of that has been taking care of themselves and being able to rest and take time for themselves so that they don't get sick.
Yeah. All things we need to apply to our lives.
Prioritize, right?
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Dahl, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Have a great day.